All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mack here on 1010XL's podcast platform, 1010XL.com. Of course, on the 1010XL app as well, and shared all over the world on your favorite podcast platforms or all over social media. So make sure you check it out. I'm live on my Facebook page as well, and it's great to be here. It's a Friday, and my show brought to you by Team Tommy Mack, a group of businesses that just do it right, man, that love endorsing these companies because when you need them, they are there for you. You see the shirt, J-Dog, junk removal and hauling, 844-GET-J-Dog. They're veteran-owned and operated. It's an honor to represent them, and they do it right, man, whether they're picking up your junk, refurbishing it, and giving it to veteran families in need, or you contractors, you home builders, you guys working in construction. They'll take care of your construction debris and their big 30, I think they're liter containers, massive containers, 30s I think they're called, or 30-yarders, something like that. Anyway, they'll come and you fill it up and they'll take it and bring it back and all that good stuff. Make sure you check that out. I'll talk about Team Tommy Mack a little bit later on. Lots to get into, of course, as our Jacksonville Jaguars are trying to survive the pitfalls of an 0-4 start. After starting 0-3, before we get into it, let's welcome in Grammage, my bud, and my producer here on Catch It Up. What's up, Grammage?
Good morning, sir. I want to apologize about the other day. I pulled a Jaguars lack of attention to detail,
That's
and
right.
I posted the wrong podcast. I posted the pregame instead of the postgame by accident.
Yeah. Good.
But
You fixed it.
But hopefully I'll do what the Jaguars need to do: go back, watch the tape, take a hard look in the mirror, look, evaluate everything, study the X's and O's. And then fix your mistakes.
Yep.
That's how we get better.
Look, it's hard, look, because you don't want to sit here and be like, oh, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Because it's kind of like, it's not them, it's us. It's still them beating you. I mean, Buffalo's, they beat you. There's no doubt about that. But you're making too many mistakes. And they're stupid mistakes. And they're mistakes that shouldn't happen. And they're killing drives. I mean, I'm not going to go through it because I went through it earlier in the week, but you go through every drive. And by the way, it takes a while to do it. I do it the morning after the game. But I really enjoy doing it. Like, every play I write down what happened, good or bad, who's on the tackle, who's the penalty again, whatever. And then at the end, I go through it, and I can tell who really stood out and who really didn't. And I'll make notes along the way. Like midway through the third quarter last week, I'm like, where's Josh Hines-Allen? A couple plays in the run game, but I haven't seen anything in the pass game at all. Obviously, there were 12 pressures last week on Josh Allen and 0 QB hits. They didn't hit him once in the passing game. So that's got to change. And if you watched Houston and Minnesota, you saw what Minnesota did to C.J. Stroud. They rattled his ass. Don't tell me they didn't. He won't admit to it. But I tell you what, they did. They got after him. They hit him. They beat him up a little bit. I think he got rattled a little bit. I think it's going to take some of that to get it done. Now, Houston's not defined by one game, what they did against Minnesota, of course. You're defined by the 3 games. We're defined by our 3 games. We're 0-3. We're not a good football team right now. That doesn't mean we don't have the talent to be a good football team. Hey, Dale, how are you, man? Great to hear you, see you from all the way from Idaho, man. It's a long ways away, but they've got enough talent. I've thought that for a long time. I still think that. You know, it's crazy, too. We were talking on Jaguars today with Mike Demps, Fat Tony, and Pockets. The guys you weren't thinking that were going to struggle are struggling, Like Cam. You didn't think you didn't think Cam was this shutdown left tackle, but you thought, yeah, he's solid. He could hang. He gave up 8 pressures last week, man. That's normally not him. You don't got no one to go to. I mean, you could try Walker Little, I guess, but I think if he was the guy, I've said it before, he'd already be the guy. So you didn't think Cam would be struggling. Josh Hines-Allen had a good outing against Cleveland, but other than that, I don't think that much. Maybe he made some plays against Miami, but he didn't make many plays against Buffalo. Trayvon Walker was hot early, but he kind of cooled his jets a little bit. Eric Armstead can rush the passer over the guard, man. It was textbook when we played Miami. We got to see more of that, And I'm not inside the log. I'm not inside, right? But I'll tell you right now, man, Eric, you got to play where we need you. I didn't bring you all the way over here so you could spell Josh Allen, or Trayvon at end. That's not why you're here. You're here to give my defensive line a presence. So now, not just my outside guys, but now I got an inside guy. And it's important for you to be there. It's like Calais Campbell when he was here. You really opened things up. Eric Armstead needs to play the majority of his snaps as a defensive tackle on the guard. It's my opinion. I would also put Mason Smith as my other defensive tackle. Cindy writes in. Thanks, Cindy, for listening. You look like a new listener, so I appreciate it. Do you think there's trouble in the locker room maybe? Nah, I don't think so. But I tell you what, guys are definitely going, man, you got to step it up, especially the big money guys. Look, Trevor struggled. He's been okay at times. He's been not okay at times. He's struggled at times. I mean, look, you can make all the excuses you want for him, but he has. It's not just him. Cam, Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker. Kirk had a nice outing last week, but you got to catch that touchdown pass. You got to. It was a great throw. The interception, I don't care. I love this whole, BTJ got knocked off his route. No, he was wide open. He was wide the bump open. Just give him the ball. Give it to him and give him a chance. I got him winning 21-19. I do. A lot of it's wishful thinking. A lot of it's hope, and I'm not a big fan of hope when it comes to football teams, but I tell you, man, so it's just got to click. It's got to click. I mean, again, I know everyone wants all these changes and all these things, but if the players could just execute better. I said that last year. I'll say it this year. Knowing what you're doing, knowing the down and distance, knowing the tendencies that could happen, knowing who to go to when they blitz, knowing, making the catch, being in shape, just all that stuff, man, little stuff. You don't take care of the little things, the big things will add up. We'll go through some stats today, of course, team stats. I got some other stats that I found kind of interesting that, you may not want to hear, but I think it's okay to talk about it. I mean, look, you could say all you want, and again, don't pin this down that Tom's saying it's all on Trevor. It's not, but a lot of it is. He's the franchise QB. You're only going to go as far as your quarterback. You're only going to go as far as your quarterback and a good defense and a tough offensive line. I know all those things matter, but he's got to be better. Let me throw this stat at you. We're worst in the league on third down. Now that's not all on the QB, but we're 32nd in the league on third down. Trevor's completion percentage on third down is 21.4%. 21. That's horrendous. Part of that's pressure, part of that's drops, part of it's him missing. He misses too many. He does. That throw to Gabe, where Gabe caught it, but it was way outside out of bounds. Not way out of bounds, but it was a step out of bounds. Let's say a step. I don't think he could have dragged. I don't think he would ever toe touch. I mean, it's got to be. Look, he put it in the right spot. It's got to be outside like that, back shoulder throw, but it's got to be closer to the target so he can make the catch, right? So look at that. Great throw to Kirk. Kirk's got to catch it. Touchdown. Not a great throw to Gabe. Could have been like first and down at the 2 or wherever he was, but it was too far out. It's just got to be more consistent. That's all I'm saying. And 21% on third down is absolutely despicable. I don't care who we're talking about. And I don't care if he's your favorite quarterback or not. That's got to be better. He's got to be better. They all got to be better. But it does start with the QB and ends with the QB. And then we'll talk about defense winning championships if we ever get to that point. So right now the rankings aren't there. That's fine. I'm not even going to go through them. I'll give you a positive, Pastor. I'll give you a positive stat on Trevor. When he targets Brian Thomas Jr., his passer rating's 97.4%. Or not percent, whatever it is, 97.4. That's really good. Okay. I think he had 9 targets last week. Good. I want to see a little bit more. I want to see a little bit more to Brian Thomas Jr. I also want to see the run game. ETN, 11 of 68 against the Bills. I think the Bills, you can run on the Bills. And if I'm Baltimore, I'm pounding Derrick Henry this weekend. I am. I still think the Bills win. But if I'm Baltimore, it's going to be a great game. Sunday Night Football. I'm pounding that rock with Derrick Henry. I don't think the Bills are that good. stop and run. The Texans aren't that good stop and run. They're 4.1 yards per carry against. So let's get ETN. Let's get Bigsby involved. I don't care if my quarterback throws for 350 and multiple touchdowns. I just want him to win and be efficient and not turn the ball over and not have bad penalties. That illegal formation penalty is solely on the QB. Don't give me anything else. He knows better not to do that. He knows better. You can't tell the end guy in the line of scrimmage to motion unless you got somebody replacing him. So, yeah, could he step back and a guy step up and then him go? Of course. But you can't send the end guy. He's got to know that. So, can't have that. That hurt him. That hurt him. But we're moving on. And now we got to take care of this Houston Texan team. Look, they give up 24.7 points a game. I'll get into that. That's a lot. That's a lot. Do I think Trevor has problems with progressions? No. I look, here's what I think. I think when Trev throws down in between the numbers, he's great. The digs, the deep throws, the posts, all that. I think when he goes outside, the quick outs, sometimes they're perfect. Sometimes they sail. Sometimes they're low. Right? You know, the down the field throws, the back shoulder. Sometimes they're too far outside. Sometimes they're right on. It's just inconsistent, right? So I don't think he has a problem with progressions. Now, granted, by the time he gets to 2 or 3, he's normally facing pressure. That's where he's just got to take over. You just got to take over. You take off and run. And I know you tried last week. You got us to 4th and inches. That was a first down. That's another one, man. Gosh, dang, that first drive, you had a chance there. You had a chance to convert. Cam gets beat on an inside rush. You sail the ball because you get hit in the leg. You know, that all factors in. That's an incomplete pass. Well, he got pressured. I know. That's part of it. But that's an incomplete pass. We just got to be better on that. I think they will be. But I tell you what, 2 things. I want ETN and Bigsby more involved this week, and I want Kirk more involved. Now, granted, he had 8 catches for 79. Captain, catch the touchdown pass. I know that's eating you up inside. I'm not trying to hammer you because I love you. But, man, you got to make that grab. That's a routine grab right here. I mean, it through your hands into your face. You got to make that grab. Everything else was fantastic. By the way, I did read where the Houston Texan defense, they give up the most touchdowns from the slot receiver, or they're number 4. They're the 4th highest. So a lot of success opposing offenses have had with their slot receivers. So I want to see Kirk more involved. I do. Get that chemistry going. More involved with Brian Thomas. You're not going to have Ingram. You know, sprinkling Gabe, no doubt about it. Sprinkling ETN and Strange. Congrats on your first touchdown. That's great. But, we'll hopefully see more out of you as well. I think he's a really good blocker, and I think he gives you some things. So all of that, I think, you got a chance. Their third down, they're at 42.5. That's not good for a defense. Now, our offense sucks on third down. We're 21. Last week, we were 21. No. We're 21.88% on third down on offense. 22%. That is like you shouldn't even collect a paycheck bad. It's 22%. That's really, really, really 1 out of 5? Terrible. They are on defense 42.5, so maybe you can find some common ground, get in those high 30s, give yourself a chance. You got to extend drives. And you can't kill yourself with penalties on drives. You can't. You got to, it's just a sense of urgency is what we're talking about. That's what we got to have. And hopefully we have it, because how about this? You've already heard the stat. Only one team in the history of the National Football League has gone to the playoffs after starting 0-4. One in the entire NFL history. It was the 1992 San Diego Chargers. That's it. 0-3. Look, here's what I'm thinking. You're 0-3. You got to win. You got to beat Houston. You can beat Houston. Minnesota showed there is cracks in that armor. Minnesota's a real good team. I don't think you'd beat Minnesota if you were playing them this week. I wouldn't think you're going to beat them. I wouldn't. I think they're a good team. But they showed that if you can get after Stroud, you can get after him. Now, granted, they got no Mixon. They got no Pierce. Cam Akers is their running back. And then the guy that was here, number 33, how do you pronounce his name? Long, you know what I'm talking about. He was here as a back, Obawange or something like
Oh,
that.
Dario Gumbawale.
Thank you very much, Dario. Sorry, my friend. He's
Also their
backing
backup
up.
kicker in a pinch.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So can we take care of their running attack? We're giving up 4 yards a carry. They give up 4.1. We rush at 5.4. They rush at 4.3. So let's win that battle. And isn't it wild how we're talking about our tackles? Everyone was worried about the interior three all off season, all preseason. Now you don't have to worry. They're playing pretty well, those guys. Cleveland's playing well. Sheriff's playing well, and Morse is playing well. Let's get the other two together, whoever they are. If you can go. If you're hurt, you're hurt. Let the other guy get in there. But hopefully you're going to be out there and playing better. Look, I don't want to get on Cam too much, but he misses too many blocks in the run game and in the pass game. It seems every week.
This is arguably the worst 3-game stretch of his career.
That we've never, why?
He looks,
what's going on in his life that these things are, has his talent just gone south? Like he can't move his feet anymore? I don't think so. I don't. Does he lack power? Does he not have punch anymore? Or what is it? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'll tell you what. I'll say this again. I'm not saying every player, because there are plenty of players on that team that I would not include this in. But I don't believe that this team currently, to date, is putting in the extra work that they have to put in order to be successful in the National Football League. Think about this. The collective bargaining agreement, which the players wanted and won, they don't have to be – they can only be at the stadium so long. They can only practice so long. They can only have one practice. They can only be there for so long. They have to do more on their own today than probably ever before. They make it easier. You get you get the Surface or whatever. It's all right there. They download it for you. They cut up whatever you want to cut up. You can go home in the comforts of your home and watch that film. Study those tendencies. I question, as a collective group, if they're really mentally prepared each and every week. Now, you may be out there saying that's on coaching. I say it's on the players. Do the coaches have to make sure? Yes, they do, without a doubt. How do you do that? Well, you can see on the play. We're talking to Jaguars today. How many times in a pass play in the back half of the Jacksonville defense are guys after the play looking at each other like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I thought how do you not know what the hell's going on? Y'all got to know what the hell's going on." You know what I mean? So I question that. So maybe that changes. It's not talent. It's not. And by the way, I said it on Jaguars. I'll say it again. And maybe I said it earlier. I don't care who wants to play where they want to play. You put them in the best spots that they can succeed. Eric Armstead's not a very good end. He hasn't been yet, but he has been a very good tackle. The idea when he came here was to line up next to Josh Allen and bring back that old Calais Campbell presence, tight presence. Hasn't happened yet, only on occasion. Great rush in Miami. Remember, over the guard, swam, sack, boom. That's what you need. What I don't need is you out on the end lollygagging your way to the running back and not going full speed, because that's what you did last Monday night on a touchdown throw. You can't have that. So I want Josh Allen. I want Eric Armstead. I want Mason Smith, and I want Trayvon Walker. Those are my four. Now, everyone's talking about man zone, man zone, man zone. Well, guess what? If you don't get to the quarterback, you're going to get your ass kicked in zone. You're going to get your ass kicked in man.
Right.
You're going to get the common denominator is you're going to get your ass kicked if you don't put pressure on the opposing quarterback. It's as simple as pie. We could talk, go back to last year when Jake Browning came in here on a Monday night. No offense, Jake, God bless you, you're playing in the NFL, but you had all day long to throw. Nobody even affected you. You put 37 on us or 38 on us. What? Why? Because he's an NFL quarterback. And if you give most NFL quarterbacks time, they're going to make their throws.
And by the way, that was one of Trevor Lawrence's best games of his career, that Cincinnati game.
Yeah, it was. He was
Before
on
he got
fire
hurt.
that
Yep.
game. Until the ankle. Until he got stepped on.
But the defense craps down their leg that game, and everyone forgets how good Trevor was that day.
Trevor
And that's
was
how it
on
works.
fire. Yep.
That's how it works, man. If one side of the ball has a career game or a player or whatever, but the other side of the ball craps down their leg and causes the team to lose, it's a team sport.
Yep.
Who cares? You lost.
That's right. And that's all that matters. But he was. Listen, he made some great plays the other night. He also made some really bad plays.
Yeah.
It's just got to be, and I know what people are saying out there. I don't agree with it. You come out of halftime, even if you're up big, those first few series, you're trying to put the nail in the coffin, man. You ain't letting up. They went down the field, and Trevor was like 9 of 11. First drive of the third quarter. It was great. Most of the passes were in the middle.
That was not garbage time yet.
I don't think it was garbage time.
I don't
now,
think
granted,
so
do they have the same fire that they did early? I don't know. You can maybe question that. But at the end of the day, Sean McDermott's not saying, all right, guys, we got them. Take it easy.
Yeah,
He's
correct.
saying, we got to go out there and crush them so that they quit.
There's a whole half of football. I mean, it was literally early third quarter.
Well, what do? We went right down.
If it's 3 minutes left in the fourth, okay, sure, different story. But
Totally different story.
But Tommy, we talked about this all last year, and I think this is continuing to happen with our Jags, and it's probably even worse now. There are ebbs and flows, and there are kind of styles of every NFL football game.
Yep.
Some of them are both teams are scoring a lot. Some of them are kind of a struggle to score, and it's a defensive game, what have you.
Yep.
The great teams are able to pick up the side of the ball that's struggling that day.
That's right.
So this team, this happened all last year. A lot of times early in the season, defense carried them to a lot of wins. Offense did just enough. And there are other games like the Cincinnati game where the offense played really well and the defense crapped down their leg.
Yeah.
The great teams in a game like the Cincinnati game will say, look, the defense is getting stops and they're winning this game.
That's right.
And
at some point, even if you've given up a lot, like for 3 quarters, you're like, all right, enough's enough. We got to shut them down.
The next 2 to 3 drives.
Just win a series.
The next 2 to 3 drives, we're stuffing the run. We're getting after their ass. We're going to get a turnover, whatever.
Yep.
That's what great teams do.
Yep.
Last year, this was just a good team. It was not a great team. I think now I don't even know if they're a good team anymore.
Well, I think
until proven otherwise. Talent-wise, yes. But I mean, when they show up and play on the field.
Yeah.
Talent-wise, I think you could argue they're a really competitive team.
Okay, so and I don't. It's Friday. I don't want to keep going back to Monday night, but let's just take Monday night, the first drive of Buffalo. It's 4th and 4. We're in man. Arian Jones takes his eyes off number 10. He thinks the guy's going all the way across, so he tries to sprint to get through. I get it, but he takes his eyes off him. What does he do? Number 10, he stops. You're still running over there. Number 22 is running to the other side of the formation, and the ball's being thrown to the guy who stopped, who's his man. Now, you may out there say, well, Tom, he's a rookie. Rookie in his 3rd game. I'm sorry. You don't get a free pass because you're a rookie. You know how to play man. You don't play man in Florida State. They don't know you got to keep your eye on a guy? You got to keep your eye on your man. Who do you have? I have that man. I got to take him wherever he goes. Right. So let's just say he does. Let's say he doesn't fall for it, and he's right on his keys because he's so ultra-focused on the job that he has to do. Maybe he makes the play. We're off the field. There is no touchdown drive. Then we get the ball. They got the drive, so they converted, and then it was on after that. We couldn't stop after that. They had us mixed up. We didn't know what was going on. Great play call by them.
10, 15 yards seemingly every play type thing. Yeah.
But at that moment, do your job, make a play. You got a chance. Maybe you're off the field, and then you get to your offense. Then you get to your offense. And go watch the first series. The first play was very strange to me. They sent out all 5 guys, including ETN, and Trevor barely looked downfield and just threw it to ETN. And it was kind of strange. It wasn't like a check down. It was almost like, get it out of my hands. I don't want to look anywhere. I'm just going right there. They tackled him right away. It was like a 1-yard gain, right? Then he throws the out pattern to Brian Thomas Jr. Now, hey, it was a good throw. It wasn't a bad throw. The guy made a play. It's either a drop or a knockdown pass. I can't seem to get the clarity on that. But nonetheless, now it's 3rd and 10. And then my left tackle, who's, 8, 10-year vet, I'm expecting him to hold off some guys, most of the time, if not 95% of the time. He gets beat on an inside rush, and I sail the ball over Gabe Davis's head, and I'm off the field. That's after my defense didn't get off the field on 4th down and had to endure 11-play drive for a touchdown, and I go out there in 3 plays and give it right back to the offense. How do you win like that when you're a team that can't just show up and win? And most teams can't. Most teams can't just show up and win. And I'll tell you, the biggest difference Monday night between the two teams, well, there's a few things, but one of them was a very disciplined, well-prepared football team. No doubt about it. One was not. Now, again, you can blame coaches. Maybe it's culture. Maybe Sean McDermott runs a tight ship. I don't think Doug runs a tight ship. I just think that's his style. He expects the veterans to run the ship. He doesn't sit there, and he's not that kind of guy. I think Sean McDermott is. I think he's a hands-on, hey, I want my leaders to be leaders. I want them to do what they do in the locker room, but I got to make sure that there's some accountability here. There's some things here. I just don't think that's not Doug's style. It's okay if you win. I don't think George Seifert yelled at anybody. Did he? You know what I mean? You could be a sweetheart and win in the NFL.
The same thing is happening in Miami right now with Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
First 2 years, they were having success. And this guy's chill. He's laid back, player-friendly. Like, players feel empowered. They get to – he's putting them in a position to succeed. Now they've lost a couple games. 2 is out. They don't work hard enough. Why don't It's just about what works and what doesn't.
That's right. Whatever works is good. And if it doesn't work, it's not good. And that's just the nature of the beast. But, look, you got a chance here. You got a chance here to turn this thing around, at least momentarily. Houston's a good team. They are. Their offensive line has given up plenty of sacks, so maybe you got something there. So have we. Their defense have gotten plenty of sacks. We haven't. We have 0 turnovers on defense. So how do you get turnovers? What's the best way to get a turnover, do you think?
Pressure.
Thank you. Not knocking the ball out on a running back running down the field.
It's pressure.
Stripping the ball. It's pressure.
The 2017 team just got turnover after turnover after turnover all the time.
Yeah.
And why was that? That's because Calais and Unique and Fowler were living in backfields.
Yep.
And especially in the second half of games when teams had to press and they're getting pressured, they're going to throw picks, they're going to fumble the ball, strip sacks. Like, it creates an environment of turnover. That's how you get you create the hostile environment for the offense to give you the ball.
And what was their detriment that year? They couldn't stop the run until they grabbed Marcel Darius to make it complete. Now you got inside and you got outside. So I think we have it, but we got to get out there and really prove it, man. You got to pressure the other team's QB, and you got to keep pressure off your own quarterback.
So, looking back to that, and I know you said we're trying to move on from Monday night, but on Monday night with Josh Allen, if all I got to do, I'm well protected every time I drop back to pass. I can go through my progressions, and if nothing's there, they're playing man, so that probably means I can take off and get 5 or 10. When would I ever turn it over?
Right.
All I got to do is scan if someone's open, throw it. If not, take off, get 5 to 10 yards every single time.
Unless you get cocky and want to fit something.
Yeah, unless I'm just screwing around and I'm in effort mode in the second half.
Right.
If I'm focused and doing my job, when would I ever turn it over?
Yeah.
How? I don't have to press anything.
You shouldn't.
And they were killing us. They did this multiple times. James Cook would come in motion.
Yep. Motion killed us. It's like we couldn't figure it out. Like, it's so easy to figure out.
Especially because in James Cook, you're probably going to have a backer on you.
Yep.
He'd come in motion from one side, like he's going to go across the field, and then come right back out to the same side, like we used to do with Jamal Agnew, but in the backfield instead. He'd come back out that same side he came from, and there'd be nobody there.
Yeah.
Nobody there. He'd have 15. It was killing us every time.
And for the record, so if you're in man, you've got him. If you're in zone, you bump. You count from inside out, right? If there's 3 guys to my side, number 3 is the closest, number 2, then number 1. You can start at 1 if you want, 1, 2, 3, however you want. I always went 3, 2, 1 because I was on the inside. So it's not rocket science to say, okay, so if I've got 3, let's do a little football 101 here. If I've got number 3 and it's man-to-man and he goes in motion, I go with him. Simple as that. I got number 3 and it's zone and he goes in motion. Well, 3 becomes 2. So my number 3 changes. And if that guy goes all the way across to the other side, my number 3 goes from the guy in motion to the back. And then we just bump it. Does that make sense? So it's not like that should confuse you. You shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? No, you should just be like, all right, they're in motion. And I'm going to watch the motion the entire time, and we're going to figure out if I'm in man, I'm going to have my guy run with him. If we're in zone, we're going to bump until he stops, and then we recount. That's not rocket science. That's really simple football, for the record. And like I was saying about Lloyd, he had trips to his side one time, but he never went to the number 3 receiver, and they just ran a out and quick pitch and catch, and it was a good solid gain down in the red zone. He's nowhere near him. You got to get up on him and get in his hip. So they didn't handle that very well. So that's got to be better. But listen, this is a winnable game. This is a winnable game. I know they're the darling right now. Houston is. I think an eyebrow was raised after they got the shellacking they did against Minnesota. But again, I think Minnesota's a really good team. I'll tell you this, the other side, come on, listen. Protect your QB at all costs, okay? And you got your hands full. Now granted, Autry's not ready yet. He's still on suspension. But you got Will Anderson Jr., Danielle Hunter. These guys can play ball, man. And if you're not good, you're gonna give your quarterback a really tough day. And we need Trevor to snap out of this stuff. Now, granted, I know all you guys and gals that do anything to protect him. It's fine. It's good. You're fans, but he has got to step up and take over this team. He does. Quarterbacks do that. That's what they have to do. And he's got to be the one that they can count on every single time. Not part of the time, every time. So hopefully he can bounce back because he needs to. I mean, I'm not a big stat nerd. Stats are okay. They're fine. I don't always understand. Not that I understand. I don't always agree with all of them. Like EPA. I don't give a shit about EPA. I don't know. But let me throw these stats at you. Yards I don't care about. But Trevor in passer rating after 3 weeks is 26th in the league. His completion percentage is 30th in the league. Now, you can say all you want about the supporting cast, okay, and I'm not saying that's not valid to a certain degree, but for a franchise quarterback that you just, he's your guy, you just paid him a ton of money, he's the first, you know what I mean? That's despicable. That's not even a good quarterback. It's not. So it's got to be better. It's got to be better, and I'm hopeful that it's got to click. It's got to click for him. I don't know. Is he shooken up? That
yes.
First pass to E10 was weird. The miss to Brian Thomas Jr., everyone wants to give him excuses. That's a routine throw. Go watch Josh Allen throw it to his guys. Where does he put it? Right in front so they can turn up and make a play. And by the way, if he did that to Brian Thomas Jr., that might have been 6. There wasn't many people outside him, and nobody's catching that kid.
If nothing else, it's a 25, 30-yard game that
gain. And it's simply
and look,
give it to him.
We have wanted to blame everything that's not Trevor. We've wanted to blame line, play calling, all that. Great play call. Schemed your best receiver wide open.
Yeah.
It was blocked up well.
Yeah.
Got to make the throw, dude.
No.
Got to make the throw.
Got to hit him.
It's that simple. That was as maybe as just one isolated play.
Yeah.
As obvious of a you can't put this blame anywhere else. That was just simply a terrible throw.
Well,
now overall, I'm not saying it's. I'm obviously not saying.
Yeah.
But that just shows dude, he deserves a piece of this pie.
Yeah.
In the blame game as well.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Doesn't mean you're moving on. Or it doesn't mean any of that. It just means
no.
In all this criticism, telling this person he is one of them that has to pick it up.
And just so you know, look, and I don't want him to, but because I don't think Mac's going to do anything anyway. But they're not replacing Trevor. There's too much investment. And by the way, everyone's like, "Hey, they didn't spend the money yet. They didn't. The majority they haven't. But he got a nice signing bonus. A nice signing bonus. Go look at the numbers. So they did pay him a good amount of money. Not $200 million guaranteed yet, but I think it was 37 to sign. So that's enough to be playing better, in my opinion. You?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, it's not just him, but it is him. And quarterbacks are supposed to make everybody else around him what? Better. So
there's not probably the most disappointing part about Trevor, I think, in the last couple of years since 2022, when he did have the great end of the season, is There's been a lot of pitfalls around him, been a lot of shortcomings around him that I would have loved for them to set him up better, of course. But franchise QBs, there are games where the deck is stacked against them, line's not blocking super well, play calls aren't the best, what have you, and they just say, I'm that guy, I don't care, I'm leading this team down the field, and I'm scoring, and I'm winning a ball game.
Right.
Not enough of that out of him. It doesn't mean I'm asking him to be Superman. Yeah, a little.
Yeah, a little bit.
They're paying him to be Superman.
Take over,
a little.
man.
Does that mean he's going to throw for 5 touchdowns a game? Mahomes doesn't do that.
No.
But
I don't need him to do that.
But when the chips are down,
yeah,
and I need a play out of my guy who I drafted first overall, and I'm paying $275 million, I need him to be Superman every so often.
Well,
Josh Allen does it. Joe Burrow does it. Mahomes does it.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson
does it.
does it.
And they struggle too. Everybody struggles.
Of course.
Come on, we
of
know
course.
that. But I don't know. I think of like the pick was bad. Probably worst throw, I thought. But the illegal motion was really bad, that he didn't know that. Because it reminds me of when he threw the pass to Parker before halftime against Baltimore last year. And
you're talking about the illegal motion against the Browns?
No, this past week.
Okay.
They had a great drive going. I had to read that second quarter. It was their second or third drive. Bigsby had a nice run. They're down by near the 20, and is when he sent Gabe Davis in motion. You can't send the end guy in motion unless you replace him. Well, the two guys that were in the wing, they weren't even looking at Trevor. And even Gabe's like, what are you doing? Like, why am I coming over here? And even Doug after plays like, you can't do that. That's an illegal formation. That to me, like, that's football 101 for a quarterback in his fourth year. Are you kidding me? Like, so what is that? Is that he's so worried about getting beat up that he forgets that, And you may be out there be like, Tom, yeah, man, you're really nitpicking. And I'm not trying to build a case against the kid. I'm not. But he needs to be better. And it does blow me away that a 4-year NFL quarterback knows that he can't send that guy in motion. He knows it. So does he have the wrong play? Did he, you know what I mean? Like, what's that problem? Why is that happening? The reason why I brought up the Parker Washington throw is he should have known to make sure he gets out of bounds. And really, quite frankly, he should have thrown the slant in the end zone. So you're either catching it or, hopefully, it's an incomplete. The awareness, we've talked about the awareness, that awareness of where you're at in the game, what's going on in the game, the plays, everything. So you may sit there and be like, oh, Tom, you're really nitpicking. Well, you know what? I mean, look, little things add up. And by the way, that killed that drive. That was another drive. They had a chance. I'm telling you, go look back at the play-by-play. They had a chance early in this game to hang with Buffalo, and they just couldn't make the plays. Whether it's bad throws, bad blocking. By the way, they ran the ball effectively. Etienne was 11 of 68. I want to see more of that. I want to see Bigsby. I think, look, you got it. Look, you want to take pressure off your QB? Get that running game going. They give up 4.1 yards a carry. That's not terrible, but that's not great either. Maybe you got a chance. I wouldn't put it all on my QB. I mean, I want him to be that guy, but I think you got to find him some balance. Last week, you opened up with 3 pass plays. Think about that. Now, granted, they went up 7-0. Did you panic already? I hope not. I mean, who cares? One score. Run your offense. Run that football. Use Trevor efficiently, effectively. It's part of it. And then he's got to do his part. So hopefully he can get that done. All right, we'll take a look at the stats brought to you by Team Tommy Mac in just a second. Let's real quick. So we've got Pitt at Indy. I got Pitt kicking the crap out of Indy. How about Pitt? 3-0, man. Good defense, solid QB play, good run attack overall. Indy, I think, actually, they were my 15th pick, my most confident pick. I got Pitt beating Indy. Of course, Jags at Houston. I picked the Jags to win 21-19. And then we've got Tennessee at Miami on Monday Night Football. Tennessee's not very good either. That quarterback's not good. By the way, not because it's a Tennessee Titan commercial. I don't care about that, but I want to throw something at that kid every time I see that mayonnaise commercial. I I mean, why would you ever agree to do that?
The split make your mayonnaise creamy and your quarterback dreamy.
I mean, for a guy that hasn't done anything,
Is
why
that
would you
worse than
ever?
Trevor Bank?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And Trevor Bank was horrendous, for the record. It was terrible.
So, I mean, I don't disagree.
I mean,
But-
it's just, gosh, I mean, I don't know.
I totally agree with you, but I would love to see you do the same commercial.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't have, if I was Trev, I wouldn't have done the Trevor
Yeah, I
Bank.
wouldn't
I'd
have
been
either.
Like, yo,
I
man,
know.
can we do it later?
I get it.
Like,
yeah,
can I
know.
win a little? You know?
You're
Can
just
I win,
really.
you know, do something? Like Will Levis. What? For what?
I mean, imagine.
Why is he on a national commercial? That guy's not any good. Is he?
No.
Give me Zach Wilson. Are you going to give him a commercial too?
See, the difference between I'll say this, and I hated the Trevor Bank thing, so this is not excusing that at all. But at least with Trevor being on more national stuff, at least Trevor was really, really good in college.
Yeah.
Levis wasn't even that good in college.
Well, and he's been really, really good in the pros at times. I
He's
mean,
had-
Levis
yeah.
threw 4 touchdowns his first game. Other than that, I don't
Yeah.
think he's done anything.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Whatever. Can we smash that kid? See, to me, like, if I'm playing him, I'm extra motivated to hurt him. I am. Just like the Browns. I'd have been extra motivated to hurt Trevor. Oh, they call it Trevor Bank, do they? Oh, this is your home, is it? Yeah, let's see. And you saw what happened. So, at least in the first half, not very good. I do. Let's see. I got New Orleans winning, Rams beating the Bears. Sorry, Bear fans, you guys stink too. Minnesota beating Green Bay, Pitt beating Indy, Jets winning against Denver, Philly beating Tampa, Cincy beating Carolina, Jacks beating Houston. By the way, I was the only one to pick Jacks beating Houston. Some of it's wishful thinking. I'm really hopeful they turn around. Washington on the road, San Fran at home, Vegas at home, Chargers at home, Buffalo on the road, Miami at home, Seattle on the road. I think that's going to be a fun Monday Night Football game. Seattle at Detroit. How about Seattle 3-0? They had a good defense, too. They're only giving up like 13, 14 points a game. Pretty interesting.
Really quickly, Tommy, because I know you're going through it.
Yeah.
Just speaking of Seattle, because it reminded me, like, this year, the first couple games of the year, and I know how you operate. You hold the players really accountable, which I appreciate, because most people just point to the coaches right away.
Yeah.
But so far this year, just how certain teams have operated and stuff, this has been maybe the most evident year in recent memory that coaching matters a lot. You can't tell me Geno Smith is more talented than Trevor Lawrence, but he's playing a hell of a lot better.
Is it it's probably two of the same, but is it culture or coaching?
Both.
Yeah. It is X's and O's. There's something to that. But I think it's also more about culture.
And those things all come together, right? If you have a good culture of dudes that are putting in the extra work and studying the extra tape, then you're going to have the X's and O's down better.
Yep.
And you're going to execute better, right?
Totally.
You're going to have a better game plan. So it all goes together. But I just think that you're seeing Sam Darnold's playing lights out.
Yep.
Because Kevin O'Connell is a great coach of offense. They have a good culture there. Brian Flores has instilled a really good defense there. Like the Seahawks, like Geno Smith, like there are a plethora of quarterbacks in the league, far more talented than Geno Smith, playing far worse.
Yep.
But Geno Smith has a good culture up there. He's being coached well. They're being set up to succeed.
He's having a good year.
And I think what has happened with Trevor, and this happened with Bryce, and they're not getting good coaching, in my opinion, either, is like you have these uber talented guys that because of X, Y, and Z, because of this coach and that coach, and not set up to succeed, they develop bad habits over time.
Yeah.
And that they're
okay. Let's just and I know we're not going to spend a lot of time on, but like Bryce Young, if you can't protect that kid, it's not going to happen. It's like here in Jacksonville. If you don't protect Trevor, he's going to struggle.
Yeah.
It's pretty much with every QB.
Yeah.
Maybe the real elites can make, like Mahomes can make something happen on his own, but we've seen him under pressure, and he has a crack in the armor too.
I'd say
you got to pressure.
Mahomes and Josh Allen are probably the only exceptions to this rule.
Here's the thing about Josh Allen and Trevor. I feel like Trevor's kind of got that kind of game. He's not there yet. I'm not saying that, but physically, he can run like that. He could. He's not going to run people over for the most part.
Or hurdle people.
But he can escape. He can make something happen with his legs. He's got a big arm. He's not afraid to try it.
Off-script plays.
Yeah, I mean, he's, to me, like, Remember we were talking 2 years ago, the trajectory of Josh Allen? Remember Josh came in, threw a lot of picks, and then got better. Last year, a little bit off, although he threw a ton of touchdowns. And then this year, he's off to a great start. That's what we're thinking. That was Trevor's trajectory, right? Like, he's got to get back into that. We talk about Trevor Ball all the time. He tried a little bit last week, but I want to see more of that. Like, for instance, okay, Josh Allen knows we're in man, and he's got, empty backfield, number 3 over here, number 2 over here. Mike Backer takes number 3. Will takes number 2. It's a wide open middle. What am I doing? I'm not even looking to throw. I'm just running, and I'll get the first down, and I may get more, and maybe I'll slide, maybe I'll dive. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. That's what Trevor has, that kind of skill set in him, in my opinion. And you just sometimes look, and I don't know, it's not the same thing, but look, I will say this about quarterback. It is the hardest position in professional sports. There's no doubt about it. And it's not just physical, it's really mental. I mean, you really, really got to know the game. You got to know the tendencies. You got to know these pre-snap things. Like, that's probably a big part of your development. Knowing, okay, I've seen this before. They're either coming with this guy or they're going to fail. You know what I mean? Like, who's my hot route? By the way, I mentioned this on my podcast earlier in the week on Catching Up. Do we have hot routes? I don't ever see a hot route. You know what a hot route is, right?
Yes.
Your guy blitzes,
You know the blitz is coming, so you know where you're going right away to get 5 yards.
You stop your route. So you give your guy, like, my guy went. Now, they may try to replace him with someone, but before that, you got to turn around. Like, here you go. So now the quarterback may have to stand there and deliver it while taking a shot in the face or in a hit. But that's a hot route. It doesn't seem like that happens a lot. But anyway, those are the kind of things I'm expecting out of Trevor. And hopefully this is a game that ignites him. Let's get into some team stats review. Brought to you by Team Tommy Mac, just a group of businesses that I personally love endorsing here on the show, other shows, also all over social media and in the streets. I'm a good business development guy, connecting relationships. I've always been good at that. You know why? Because I like people overall until I don't. All right, let's go. First one up, Chris Lucero's bail bond. Someone naming the bail game. Get thrown in the clink, gets you out in a blink. Call him at 822-2245, 904-822-2245. Carpet Man flooring, more than just LVP. Carpet Man's LVP. It's all types of flooring at the highest quality and the lowest prices. Go to carpetman.biz or see them in their great showrooms right there on St. John's Bluff Road near Atlantic and on Wells Road in Orange Park. I mentioned J-Dog already. Throw that number in there, you contractors. 844-GET-J-DOG, spelled the normal American way. D-O-G. Get J-Dog. 844-GET-J-Dog. Great to have them on board. Azar Sausage, they're the best, man. You get them in the Winn-Dixie's, now in Native Son, at your local grocers. It's the best sausage you'll ever have, whether in your favorite dish or in a bun. Azar Sausage is the one, no question about that. All right, Newmark Phoenix Realty Group, been a friends of mine. That was my first job out of playing ball. Was a industrial broker with Phoenix Realty Group. They are the best in the commercial space. They take care of it all, from industrial, retail, office, commercial, development, investments. They're together. The principals have been together since '93. They're still together, still kicking ass. They do it great. 904-399-5222 for Newmark Phoenix Realty Group. Salt Air Inn and Suites, of course, the boutique hotel just 4 blocks off the ocean, 2 blocks from all the fun, 2 blocks from the local where the Dad Bods will be playing this Saturday night, tomorrow night. It's a great little boutique hotel, done very nice, little pool with concierge service. Don't forget Beach Life Rentals and their surf shop right there on 4th Street in Jacksonville. The beach, you see them all open down the beach with their chairs and umbrellas and their boards. That's Beach Life Rentals. Great to have them on board. Of course, Code Ninjas right here. Hey, get your kid a leg up in the technology world, man. This is what they learn at Code Ninjas in their 4 great locations. Great after-school program for your kids to get into. Learning about building games, learning about security, working with Roblox and Minecraft and all these cool things, and getting certificates. So when you are ready to get a job, you'll have a leg up in that tech space. Only at Code Ninjas. Michael Nickus' State Farm Agency, been my agent for 20 years. Give a chance to be yours. Personal, business, you name it. Home, life, auto, supplemental health. He is fantastic. 904-777-6888 for Michael Nickus' State Farm Agency. All right, Family Tradition Specialty Foods, home of Coconut Joe's Hot Sauce. I told you, actually, I put it on the Instagram, the Grammage, of their new pineapple ghost of me trying it. What a kick it has. And I'm not a real big, like, hot kind of guy, but, man, it is really tasty. And that's what we have on our table when it comes to hot sauces. Make sure you get that BOGO free when you put Pound Team Tommy Mac in the discount code bar at Family Tradition Specialty Foods.com. Freedom Finance, that's right. If you need a fractional CFO, if you need a guy to come in and help your business with the financial aspect of it, forecasting, accounting, helping you fundraise, well, Courtney Myers at Freedom Finance is the one to call. 620-897-7079. That's 620-897-7079. That's David Weidell's old number at the end there, so maybe that'll help you remember. But check out Freedom Finance for some financial help. Fields Cadillac, brand new to Team Tommy Mac, also title sponsor of Riding Shotgun with Tommy Mac. Brett Myers was my first guest. We're going to film again next Wednesday. You have to wait and see who is going to be riding in the shotgun seat. But Fields Cadillac, of course, a great Cadillac dealer right there on the corner of Blanding and I-295. My man Jim, you guys all know him. Big Jag fan, big Jag supporter, and they do it great. Get your electronic vehicles, your gas-powered hybrids. They got it all at Fields Cadillac. I want to thank 1010 XL Studios, of course. Great to be part of the family. Please check out TommyMac.net. You'll see all the sponsors and all the content I got out there and the YouTube channel at Tommy Mac 55. All right, Noah Lewickin this Sunday. Ventrell Miller will get the start. Lloyd is questionable, but it sounds like he'll play. Lloyd did not have a good game last week. Got to be better. I want to see Miller in coverage. I think he's going to be an upgrade. I do. So let's see what happens.
Got to catch that pick, though.
What's that?
Got to catch that pick.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
That could have. A couple of these plays that we're talking about that could have changed. Totally not saying the Jags would have won, but could it have made you not get the doors beat off you? Like
right.
A couple of these plays, like you mentioned, that's one of them.
I'm telling you, it's hard to sit here and really defend your team when the opposing team goes down the field 5 times in a row and scores a touchdown. You know what I mean?
Sure, but
so there are plays where they just kicked your ass. And that happens. But there are plays where you're there, and if you just make the play, it could change things. That's what momentum is, right? Getting off the field instead of, another first down. Another first down. Another first down. I can't breathe. I can't think. You're tired out there. I get it. But, got to make a play. Got to get off the field. All right, let's get into the stats review. We'll start with points. Jags offense, 13. Do I really want to say the number? Do you really want man. Hey, you have a great day too, Cindy. Appreciate it. 13.3 points per game. Offense. Whew. Remember all the talk, how great they were going to be? They were going to be better than last year. Remember the talk last year, how many drops were last year, and there's drops this year, and there's drops 2 years ago? Got to get better, man. Got to get better. All right, they score 18.3, so they're not lighting up the world either and scoring on the scoreboard on the offense side of the ball. Our defense giving up a despicable 28.3 points. Of course, last week killed them. And then Texas defense last week killed them too. They're at 24.7. Yards per carry, we're at 5.4. They defend 4.1. I think we got to take advantage of that, Grammage. I think we've got to take advantage of the running game. At least give it a shot. And don't go away from it. You got to mix and match, keep them balanced, misdirection, all this stuff. But get them off tackle, man. Get them off tackle. I'm telling you right now, they are making some plays off tackle in the running game. So let's see more of that. Bigsby and, of course, ETN. We are giving up 4 yards a carry. They average 4.3. Again, we should win that one. Keep them around 4 points. They got Cam Akers, basically. Mixon's done. Pierce is done. They're not playing. So we should win this battle. You know what the other two things that Buffalo has? A badass defensive line. Tell me they don't. And they got a pretty damn tough offensive line. Those guys get after it. By the way, I said it from my house. I'm going to say it in front of Grandma. Just say it in front of all you too. Hey, Trayvon, next time somebody holds you and they don't call it, you got to take matters into your own hands, right? What the old guys used to do. Jab a thumb in the solar plex. Jab a thumb underneath the rib cage if he can get there. Punch him in the kidney. Make sure he knows that that's unacceptable behavior, and you're just not going to tolerate. If they're not going to call it, you have to take matters into your own hands. Now, Just like Johnny Depp said to his son in Black Mass. It's not that you hit the kid. It's that you hit the kid when somebody was looking. So that be the lesson. Don't let him see you do it, but take no crap from anybody. He was holding you. They called it once. They didn't call it the other time on the touchdown, but whatever. You also turn your back. I don't know what the hell you were doing. He's got to be better, too. He started off strong. These guys, this is the thing that's pissing me off. It's like, talk about it more. Cam, Trevor, Josh Hines Allen, Eric Armstead, Trayvon Walker, Christian Kirk. Where are you consistently? You know what I mean? You're our big money guys. You're our guys. Like, where are you? Anton Harrison, where are you? You know, you guys wanted to give who grief all preseason. Sheriff, he's playing great. Mitch Morse is playing great. Cleveland's playing good or great enough, good enough. You know what I mean? It's the big players. They're the big money guys. They have to play big every game. It's not a lot to ask. It's not. What do we expect out of Jimmy Smith? What do you expect out of Freddie Taylor? What do you expect out of Mark Brunell? What do you expect out of Tony Baselli to win?
Tom
They're the
McManus.
big guys. They're our star players. They got to play big. Our star players are not playing big enough. Not consistently enough. Got to change that. Got to change that. All right, so I think in the run game we got a chance. Yards per attempt, they're at 7.2 on offense. They're getting the ball down a little bit, 67%. We're at 54% complete. Travis, it's just got to be better. It's just got to be better. Put on them. Third down, terrible, 21.88. 22% on third down on offense. They give up 42.5, so we may have a chance there, like I said earlier. Fourth down, we're about even. Sacks, here's a big difference. We have 5 on defense. They have 13. That's a big difference. Offensively, though, they've given up 12 sacks on offense, and so have we. So can we get a consistent thing going? Can we? And rattle C.J. Stroud. I'm telling you right now, man zone ain't gonna matter. You leave that man back there with time, you're toast. They'll put up 30 on you. Easy. No question about that. Interceptions, their defense has 3. We have 0. Stroud's thrown 2. Trev threw 1 last week, we know. Turnover ratio, they're at 0 even, and we're at -3. Remember last year? 30 takeaways with 27 takeaways with 30 giveaways. Can't win like that. So that's got to be better. So hopefully it's better. All right. So positive thoughts, right? Last week's over. Here's my thinking. Get to 3-3. You can only get to 3-3 by beating Houston first and foremost. But that should be the goal. Get back to 500. Then you got a chance, and I don't care about history that you started 0-2. Get back to 3-3. The only way to get back to 3-3 is to get to 1-3. You got to win this game. If you don't win this game, the season may be over. It's hard to come back from 0-4. Now, I'm not saying you can't get back 4-4, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be real hard. Don't put yourself in that hole that you've already put yourself in. And I'm telling you right now, attention to detail and urgency to those attention to details, and you'll win games. I'm telling you, it ain't talent. It's attitude, and it's preparation, and it's holding yourselves accountable inside that locker room. You don't need no coach to hold your hand. You're a grown-ass man. You don't need someone to tell you when you play well and play bad. You already know. Every play. You remember every play. You remember the great ones. You remember the crappy ones. You don't need some coach to tell you what's good or bad. You're an NFL player. Let's start acting like it, and let's come back with a victory so we all can have a nice, pleasant time next time here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Would you be my neighbor? Could you be my neighbor? There you go. Nice and peaceful as we head out into the weekend. Hey, if you're out at the beach tomorrow night, you want to see some live rock and roll, my band, the Dad Bods, take the stage at the Local in Neptune Beach at 7 o'clock. Come and join us. It's a lot of fun. You'll know all the songs, and we put forth a lot of effort. Yes, I sweat like crazy. I'll have probably, 4 T-shirts I'll go through tomorrow night, but that's all right because I tried on the field. I try in front of the microphone. I try to give it my all. Till next time, hope you have a great weekend, great day. Peace and love. Stay safe. Be cool. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Peace. Thanks, everybody.